Want to talk about love? Anybody? It's such a overstudied, overquoted, over analyzed subject. I mean, what's left to say about it? So let's do something a little different. Down with love. It's a terrible thing. It's doing more harm than good. We got to come out against it and make sure that everybody knows not to get close to the subject because it's really, really bad. It's become an obsession, actually, where we blame everything on the lack of love, and the solution to everything is more love. It's silly. It's too simplistic, and it's not working. It's not working. Ever since Tevye's daughters got married out of love, marriage has gone down the tubes. You notice? And not only in Anatevka, everywhere. We get right to the heart of the problem. If I love somebody, they're the most important person in the world. If I stop loving him, he's garbage. This cannot be. My love cannot vest people with importance and can't take away their importance when I stop loving them. It's nasty. The Mishnah says, a love that is dependent on something will not last, because if that something goes away, the love is gone. A love that is not dependent on anything can last. What exactly is the wisdom of that statement? If I love you for your money and you lose your money, guess what will happen? You don't have to be a sage. If I loved you for your money and you lost your money, I don't love you anymore, of course. Well, actually, I never loved you. If I love you for your money, I don't love you. I love your money. So if a man says to a woman, please marry me, I need the money. Or I love you for your money, let's get married. What is wrong with the statement? It's not true. I don't love you, I just want the money. So if this was a perfect world, you would just give me the money and don't make things so complicated. But it's not a perfect world, so what am I going to have to do to get your money? I'll have to marry you. All right, I'll marry you. Actually, I'm not even marrying you. I'm marrying the money. So why, if the money is gone, is the love gone? I mean, that's a little obvious. If the money is gone, the relationship is gone, because we were never related to each other. When the love has something in between, we love each other because, then we are loving the because and not each other. Right? If what brings us together is the money, then we're both in love with money, not with each other. So here's the shocking thing. Is love any better or different than money? If we're getting married because we're in love, guess what's going to happen? If the love goes away, there's no relationship. In content and in truth, there was no marriage between the two people. So if the money goes away, I don't understand why you're in my life. What are you doing in my life? I never invited you. All I wanted was the love. So they get married, they're very much in love, and 2 weeks into the marriage, the wife says to her husband, I don't like when you do that. What does the husband say? Check the marriage agreement. Didn't say anything about your opinion. I married you for the love. Keep coming with the love. Don't give me your opinion. It was not part of the deal. You're in a bad mood? Sorry, that was not part of the deal. You have a personality? I didn't marry you for that. Just the love. Stick to the love. That was the agreement. No wonder marriages are so fragile. Because love is so fragile, the way it's supposed to be. Love is not a beast of burden that you can build a relationship on. Love is the spice, the sizzle, not the steak. So what is the steak? So this young couple, back a few years, kind of hippies, they come over to me and they say, we are very much in love and we would like to get married. Would you do the wedding? I said, you're in love? I said, yes. I said, then don't get married. What do you need us for? You're marrying for love, but you already have the love. Let it be. Don't complicate things. So what's the point of getting married if you already love each other? Well, we want to make a commitment. A commitment to what? To love each other or stay married to each other when the love is gone? You're not going to do it. And why should you? You're marrying for love and your love goes away. What, are you arresting yourself by getting married? Are you punishing yourself for being in love? What is that? So, all of a sudden, we have an ancient question. What's marriage? Nobody's interested. Everybody wants to know what is love. But what's marriage? Why do people marry? Especially if they're already in love. What are you hoping to gain? For better or for worse, in illness and in such a liar. You just said you're doing it out of love. Contradiction. Now, Jerry Seinfeld has this routine. He says, I go to these weddings. I don't understand. The bride wears a very unique, different outfit than anybody else in the room. But the groom is wearing the same tuxedo that all the other guys are wearing. Yet they rented it all in the same place. Why is that? He says, and then I listened to the vows and I understood. Do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? This man, they don't mention a name. Because in case she says no, there's another guy in a tuxedo. Do you take this man? No. You gotta like somebody. What in the world is the marriage for? There's another serious problem. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I assure you that it's true. You know, there's a lot of confusion, gender confusion. Like, what's a woman? And why? If you are a woman, why? I was speaking somewhere, make a long story short, and I said, tradition means You do what your grandfather did, what his grandfather did. That's tradition. This woman gets very upset. And she said, why are you ignoring half the population? So what do you mean? You said grandfather. Why didn't you say grandmother? This was about 4 years ago. I said, boy, are you behind the times? How dare you assume that my grandfather was a male? I meant it as a joke. She took it seriously. Oh, I'm sorry. And that's scary. So we're very confused. So what's the right way? What's the proper way to be heterosexual or homosexual? What's the right way? What if I prefer one over the other? That was a hot issue for many, many years. Gay rights and all of that. It's completely irrelevant today. Because what has happened factually is that all sexuality has become boring, insignificant, and uninteresting. People are not interested in any kind of sex. According to the Pew study, the average couple are intimate. They live together, they sleep in the same bed, they are intimate maybe once a month. This is not good news. They're just not interested. So what happens when you wake up, you're a teenager or even younger, and you realize, I'm not interested in men, I'm not interested in women, I'm just not interested. So what am I now? Maybe I'm in the wrong body. This is the crisis we're in today. How did that happen? Well, there used to be a time when intimacy was intimate. It was intimate. It was scary. It was dangerous. It was awesome. And the people got together and said, you're making too much of a big deal about it. Lighten up. It's fun. It's normal. It's healthy. It's natural. So don't get so serious about it. Have some fun. In the 60s, free love. Free love meant free of commitment, free of meaning, but mostly free of intimacy. Don't take it so seriously ended up meaning don't take me so seriously. And that was the end of intimacy. So let's take a quick look. What is intimate and what happened to it? Where did it go? Or let's say, what is the difference between love and intimacy? So first, the short answer. Love means an emotion that is positive, pleasant, and fulfilling. When you feel love or loved, you're full. It fills you up. It makes you feel substantial, significant. And that is the pleasure of love, the pleasure of feeling full. The pleasure of intimacy is the pleasure of getting past self and not feeling yourself at all. Ever have that experience? You simply forgot about yourself. You were so enthralled and so busy with something else that for a moment there, you simply forgot that you exist at all. And that felt so good. They used to call it ecstasy. It's not love. Love means I am as full as I can be. And that's a little limited, because I can only be so big. Intimacy means I transcend myself. I am not functioning within myself. I'm into something higher, bigger than me. And for a moment, I am not self-conscious. That is a higher pleasure than love. People used to do all sorts of things to experience that feeling, to get past themselves. Some people are so desperate, they'll actually take dangerous drugs. They'll do things that bring them close to death, death-defying, because they want to get past that limit that keeps them who they are. Many alcoholics are that way. They don't want to be drunk. They want to be unconscious of themselves. And it's a powerful motivator. So again, the difference between love and intimacy. Love means I am working at my maximum pleasure experience. Intimacy means I am beyond my own limit. I am experiencing the pleasure of something bigger than me. We. Religious people used to have that experience. Spiritual people seek that experience. To put it in terms of total learning, what was the tree of knowledge that they were not supposed to eat from? What does knowledge mean? Not rocket science. Knowledge means self-conscious. That's pretty obvious from the text. They were naked and they were not ashamed, but when they ate from the tree, they were ashamed, which means they became self-conscious. Not they became conscious of sin. That's not the Jewish approach. In the Garden of Eden, there was no sin. Adam and Eve were not capable of sinning. They were way too holy, way too godly. There was no sin that they were suddenly ashamed of. They became self-conscious. Now, being self-conscious is a good thing or a bad thing? If you're not self-conscious, you're not a fully functional human being. If you are self-conscious, you're not a fully functioning human being, because being self-conscious handicaps. I can't, I'm ashamed, but. So is it a good thing to be self-conscious, or is it not? What was that tree called? The tree of knowledge, good and evil. Not knowledge of good and evil. A kind of knowledge that is good and it's bad. That knowledge means self-conscious. Das in Hebrew doesn't mean learned or scholarly or information. It means self-aware. It's a form of wisdom. But the downside is You become self-conscious, and all of a sudden you can't function. What are people going to say? Who's looking? What else? It derails you. So it is the best of things to be self-conscious, and it's the worst of things. Our job is to take the good and eliminate the bad. Be self-conscious in all the positive ways that it offers, and avoid or rid yourself of the negative self-conscious. That's why happy people are more functional. They're not self-conscious. If they can laugh at themselves, they have the positive side of self-consciousness without the negative side. So if you're terribly sensitive, and every comment and every criticism and every dirty look kills the day for you, you're not having any fun. So happiness, true happiness, not true happiness means I am free to some degree of that negative self-consciousness. So what does intimacy mean? Intimacy means I have grown past my need for all things. I need nothing. Because if I need something, then even if I love you, it will be for something. If I'm thinking materialistic, why would I love somebody? A benefit, a gain. We don't do things without a gain. What would motivate me to do something if there's no gain? That's materialistic mentality. I'll do this if I get that. I'll give you if you will give me. That's materialism, even if you're talking about love.
If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. We have a Sunday night program for VIPs that you might be interested in. It's informal. It's questions and answers. It's conversation. It's really relaxed. It's really pleasant, enjoyable, informative, and kind of community-like. It's a Sunday night program. There's a Wednesday morning program for the VIPs, and there's a Wednesday night program. All of it just conversation, casual, laid back, unscripted. So join us. Take a look. Click the link below and see which of the three suits you best, and join us for some enjoyable conversation.